Now, what if the future of technology wasn't in your pocket?
Good night. Good night. I can't believe this. A car that talks back to me.
Or on your wrist?
Welcome to the world's first artificially intelligent operating system.
I was thinking maybe I'd play hooky, stay home today.
What if it was pinned to your shirt? Now, this was the bold promise of the Humane AI Pin, a $700 device that was supposed to replace the smartphone. It launched with huge hype. The investors, they were genuinely excited. Now, some tech reviewers, they called it the end of the smartphone. To maybe fuel excitement, with a view to try to at least open up the conversation of a future without phones. Still, even others, that is reviewers, called it a device that is set to replace iPhones. But what happened? Well, in less than a year, Humane collapsed and their assets were sold to HP for a fraction of the original value. Well, what happened? Well, why? Why did that happen? Well, because Humane AI Pin is one of the clearest examples of how poor experience design can kill even the most ambitious product. And today's episode of UX Case Studies, we're going to break down exactly why it failed. And I'm going to show you some practical UX activities that you can apply to a project like that, or projects of your own even, to avoid the same kind of mistakes. So stay with me right until the end, because the final lesson is the one that most teams forget, and it's the one that stings the hardest. So they had a vision, but there was also reality. Now, the vision was bold. The screen-free life, a wearable pin to your shirt, and no need to look down at your phone, just use your voice, gestures, a tiny projector that displayed information well in your hand. But the reality really was brutal. The device itself, it overheated. It lagged on simple tasks such as timers or calls. Voice commands failed in noisy environments. The projector was hard to read in sunlight and awkward to even hold. Now, the battery died halfway through the day. Now, all of this was for approximately $700 up front, plus $24 a month. You think that's a worthy investment? Well, instead of replacing the smartphone, it actually reminded users of how reliable their phones actually are. So where did it all go wrong? Well, here's the thing. Every failure of the AI pin maps back to a skipped UX step, especially from the outside looking in. And in this case study, we're going to look at those mistakes and we're going to match them with practical UX activities that you can use to avoid the same outcome in any project you might be doing. So our first problem, faulty assumptions. Well, it appeared that Humane assumed that people were ready to just abandon their phones, throw caution to the wind, here we go. But you see, the problem was, actually the reality I should say, was that they were not. You see, phones aren't just devices, they're ecosystems. They carry our apps, our contacts, digital lives. If you just look around when you're traveling and see everybody else looking into their phones. Another good example, current one even, is just how locked in someone can become by getting a smartphone with a particular OS, and how unwilling they may be to switch to a different smartphone with a different OS. For example, in 2024, the loyalty rate for both Android and iPhone were over 90%. Now, these are two different OS devices, right? Now, imagine building a case or an assumption that concludes otherwise. See, this brings us to the best UX activities to counter this. Well, to counter faulty assumptions, we want to do assumption mapping. Now, this is a simple workshop. Now, this is basically what the team knows, what they think they know, and what they need to test. Now, if Humane had mapped assumptions, they would have seen the riskiest one was also their foundation, that people were ready to ditch their phones. You see, this is a dangerous leap that could have been caught before launch. I mean, of course, we know that innovation is something that can create massive leaps in change of behavior and how we interact with technology. We've seen this with AI in different forms, of course, but unfortunately not for Humane in their scenario. Problem number 2, unreliable voice control. In the lab it worked, but on the street, in cafes, at home with the kids in the background and other things happening around you, well, it often failed. Now, a really good UX activity that can be done there is contextual inquiry. So this is about observing users in a real environment where there's noise, privacy, the context, and seeing how that all affects the behavior of the device you're trying to test. See, what this would have done is that it would have revealed early on that voice-only control isn't enough. But what about problem number 3? Now we're talking about awkward palm projection. See, this is the third and real problem, the laser projector. You see, it looks futuristic in demos, and we've seen movies where they have things like that. But holding up your hand to read tiny text messages, that can get tiring. And imagine that in the sunlight. See, this is when it was almost useless because the projection wasn't strong enough. And socially, well, it felt awkward. Now, one UX activity we could do here is paper prototyping. Now, this is where you want to role play the interaction with sketches or props or even acting it out. Even a lo-fi prototype would have shown that palm projection doesn't beat a smartphone screen. Now, our fourth problem, there was no ecosystem integration. So that means that the AI pin didn't connect to your phone. No app store, no Bluetooth fallback. Just Humane's own walled garden. Now this meant starting over from scratch, losing all the tools that you already rely on with your phone, your smartwatch, or any other device that you have that's connected to primarily your phone. Now a good activity here would be journey mapping. So you want to visualize the entire journey for the user, including the devices and services that people already use from beginning all the way to the end. That's a complete journey map you'd really want to have. This would have shown that users need a bridge between the old and the new, not a forced leap. Because what that does, that creates a huge degree of cognitive load and potentially barriers, things that they have to relearn, which could cause frustration, especially if there's something that they're not used to, or it completely changes the way in which they have to interact with something. And finally, the price. This is our final problem. $700 plus a subscription of $24 a month for a device that overheated, that lagged, barely lasted a day. That's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. Now, the activity that I would run from a UX perspective or experience design perspective would be the value proposition workshop. You see, now you want to map the user's pains, gains, jobs to be done, and test whether your solution delivers enough value for the actual cost. What's the trade-off for the human, for the consumer? Now, Humane would have seen the mismatch immediately. The promise wasn't worth the price. Now, here's the real lesson. The Humane pin wasn't a bad idea. It just was a bad process. See, each failure could have been caught with the right UX activities. Assumption mapping, contextual inquiry, paper prototyping, journey mapping, value proposition testing as well. So all of these things could have been used to catch these issues early on. Now, these aren't academic exercises, right? And it's not rocket science either. In fact, good experience design isn't rocket science. They're safeguards ultimately against burning millions on a flawed vision. So the takeaway for us, for you and me, is simple. Innovation fails when it forgets the human. Now that's the end of another episode of UX Case Studies. Now if you found this breakdown useful, give it a like and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss another episode. Now we're going to look at another product that promised the future and uncover what it teaches us about really good UX or even bad UX. But until then, stay present, stay curious. I'll see you next time.